In 1931, Reichsfuhrer of the SS Heinrich Himmler issued the infamous Decree on Marriage, which forbade intermarriage and procreation between non-pure-blooded Germans. This directive consisted of 10 points, part of which outlined the qualities of a true SS man and the rest detailed who and how one could obtain a marriage license. This marked the beginning of a comprehensive eugenic policy, particularly the Lebensborn project, which resulted in the death of many. As doctors selected the best representatives of the nation, they faced the challenge of how to educate the future generation. Genes were not enough. A properly indoctrinated environment was necessary. Thus, the idea of mother and child homes was born, where specially trained individuals would raise SS children, instilling in both mothers and children the values of the Third Reich. As a result of these initiatives, Germany experienced a sharp decline in its birth rate, which reached a record low of less than 1 million births by 1933. Himmler publicly accused the people of selfishness and bourgeois morality, which promoted monogamy. Before you continue watching, please subscribe to my channel and like it. Of course, this is optional. The main thing is to be sincere. The Reichsfuhrer of the SS introduced a mandate that each family must have at least 4 children, but this was unsuccessful. Every year, over 500,000 women underwent clandestine abortions, and men were reluctant to get married. SS men, on average, got married at age 32. Later, Himmler turned his attention to other peoples of ancient Aryan descent: Swedes, Norwegians, Danes. He realized that women from these countries could also increase the number of noble elites. The most important thing I want to achieve is that, if possible, every SS man has time to father a child before he dies, Himmler wrote. At the same time, the program was officially presented as a charity. Women were guaranteed safe childbirth with experienced SS doctors, financial support, and anonymity. The independent organization Lebensborn was officially registered on December 12, 1935. The project received funding, and from then on, every Central SS department officer was obligated to make contributions to Lebensborn, with childless individuals paying the most, and parents of 4 or more children being completely exempt from payment. Himmler planned to purchase several houses and equip them as support centers. In August 1936, the first mother and child home in Upper Bavaria opened. Admittance to these homes was planned to be strict. In order to receive support, women had to undergo a medical examination and prove that all members of their family had been Aryans since at least 1800. They also had to fill out a questionnaire indicating their profession, health insurance, party affiliation, intention to marry, and include a handwritten resume with photos. However, during the war, the admission criteria were lowered, and as a result, almost everyone was accepted into Lebensborn. In the homes, women were constantly reminded of their sacred duty to procreate. In those years, there was a popular slogan that called for having children for the sake of the country's future, a child as a gift to the Führer. Propaganda posters with this phrase and advertising for Lebensborn were placed in hospitals, clinics, and women's health clinics. It was also mentioned that if the woman wanted to hide the pregnancy and the birth of the child, Lebensborn would take full custody of it. Each Lebensborn maternity hospital had an SS doctor, a senior nurse, a house manager, and a secretary on staff. Caring for women in labor and children was the responsibility of the nurses, who were assisted by students of medical schools and nurses. Cooking and cleaning in the house were done by auxiliary workers, while protection of the houses and work in the garden were entrusted only to men, who in most cases were SS members. Later, due to a shortage of personnel, mothers themselves, as well as prisoners from the Dachau concentration camp and those sentenced to forced labor, also worked in the Lebensborn houses. Norwegian children were considered to have the most desirable racial characteristics, and therefore Lebensborn had 9 homes in Norway, which received funding of 6 million Reichsmarks by 1945. Danish women who gave birth to children from German soldiers also received benefits from the German military units stationed in Denmark. Lebensborn did not have significant activity in Finland, but still provided benefits to women who had children with German soldiers. After the end of World War II, the Military Occupation Administration was responsible for the fate of children born in Lebensborn homes. The Red Cross and later the newly formed UN also joined in this effort to return the children to their biological parents. However, it was a challenging task as the Lebensborn leadership had destroyed most of the records by that time. In the occupied countries, the local population was hostile towards mothers and children associated with Lebensborn, including those who ended up there against their will. This was especially true in Denmark and Norway, where the police sent 14,000 women to internment camps and children to psychiatric clinics and boarding schools for children with mental disabilities, where they were subjected to insults. There are records indicating that the Norwegian military and the University of Oslo conducted drug tests on Lebensborn children and their mothers, experimenting with dangerous substances. After the Lebensborn archives were made public, many children were able to learn about their true origins. The Norwegian government issued a public apology to the children of the occupiers who suffered in their native country and provided compensation ranging from 20,000 to 200,000 Norwegian kroner in 2005. However, this amount was deemed insufficient by the Union of War Children. Some of the children who were born in Lebensborn homes managed to leave their countries of birth and find better lives. One such example is Annie Fried, who was born in one of the Lebensborn homes in Norway but taken to Sweden when she was 2 years old. She went on to become the soloist of the famous music group ABBA. After the war, her mother and grandmother were subjected to attacks by their neighbors because of their association with Lebensborn. Annie kept her origin a secret for a long time, but the truth was uncovered when journalists found her name in the Lebensborn archives. The discovery led to her reunion with her father, who was thought to be dead. In Germany, there is a charity organization called Lebensborn Children's Society that helps children from Lebensborn homes find their biological families. However, despite the efforts of the organization, only a small fraction of the hundreds of thousands of children born in Lebensborn homes have been able to discover their roots. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you have learned a lot of new information for yourself. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video. Write in the comments what you would like to hear about in the following videos.